College life is more than deadlines and grades. It's a culture of stress and survival. From the emic perspective, the insider's view, students describe stress in their own words. From the etic perspective, the outsider's lens, we connect those voices to broader theories of ritual precarity and coping. In my survey, nearly three-quarters of students reported daily stress. Let's hear what that looks like. If you had to put stress into one word or image, what would it be and why?
Um, you know that image of the cartoon werewolf like freaking out and like pulling his shirt off? That's kind of how it feels.
Okay. Describe what stress feels like in your body and mind during the semester.
For me personally, stress feels like somebody's trying to literally get me. Like, not even to be dramatic, but like whenever I feel really stressed or anything, I feel like somebody is like literally trying to kidnap me, and I'm fighting for my life. Like, I'm actually struggling to fight for my life. And yeah, it's not fun. Um, Stress for me is like it's very overwhelming to my mind and my body. It causes me to shut down. I get very depressed and I don't have motivation to do anything, like go to class or do work or just even like socialize or get out of bed. And it's like, yeah, I just shut down and it gets really bad.
I'm emotional. I don't like the feeling of stress. It makes me very sad. It makes me feel like a disappointment, if I'm being honest. Like once I get into my little spiral, I'll be so over it. It just gets harder by the day, by the second, by the assignment, by the professor. Yeah.
It isn't only about personal rituals. Institutions shape stress too. Precarity means living with insecurity, and for students, that shows up in financial aid rules, scholarship pressure, and constant deadlines. In my survey, 58% said academic stress disrupts their personal life, blurring boundaries between school, rest, and relationship. Let's hear how students see the university's role in pressure. First thing you do when you feel academic pressure building up.
The first thing I do when I feel academic pressure building up is I would turn everything off and put it to the side, and I would just watch de-stressing videos until I feel better and ready to continue doing my work.
What's the first thing you do when you feel academic pressure building up?
When I feel academic pressure building up, I cry. That's like my go-to instinct. Like when I'm stressed, when I feel overwhelmed, when I feel like there's too many things on my plate, I cry. And I cry a lot, and then I vent about it. And yeah, but crying is like my go-to thing that I do.
Honestly, I like to go to the union and play pool because it's just like a casual like college thing to do that like kind of like sets you back from like all of the academic pressures and the social pressures. You just go and chill, get some Starbucks. I don't do it often, but like when I do feel a little stressed, I go play pool or like what's that called, ping pong. Yeah, they have a lot of recreational things to do. I play basketball, go to the gym.
Okay. Who do you turn to when stress gets heavy, and what do those conversations or rituals look like?
My sweet mates, we just be venting, we just be blacking. Like sometimes you just gotta let it all out. Like especially, I feel like college stress is different because you can't really do anything about it. It's either finish or don't. So like just letting it all out and letting people hear you and like saying stuff out loud. I feel like that really helps.
I would say I have a ritual of taking a big nap before I have a big assignment that I have to do in the evening. Like if I went to my classes and maybe like went to the store or something, and then it's like, oh my god, like now I have to do this big assignment. I'll take a nap first, so it feels like I wake up and it's a brand new day with only one thing on my bucket list instead of like a day where I have to do a bunch of shit.
Coping isn't only individual, it's collective. Students turn to friends, study groups, and late-night talks to share the weight of stress. These practices don't just provide relief, they withdraw boundaries, carving out spaces of connection where academic pressure eases. In other words, the boundary theory helps us see how these social rituals create separation between stress and community, turning isolation into resilience. Shapes the way you deal with stress compared to others.
Yeah, I think that family ties really contribute to it. You know, you grow up seeing a lot of different people make a lot of different mistakes, and you try to avoid them all at once, and it's really stressful because when you get to like reflecting about certain stuff, it's like, dang, like I didn't want it to go this way. I want it to be better, and holding myself at like the standard of being better than, you know, like some of my family members who may not have went to school or may have dropped out in 7th grade. You know, you just try your hardest not to fail, and you use their failures as motivation because nothing else is really an option.
I feel like my background does shape the way I deal with stress compared to others because growing up, I never learned how to deal with stress the right way. I just learned to just keep it inside and deal with it like by yourself.
Do you feel your background or identity shapes the way you deal with stress compared to others?
I feel like my background and my identity does affect the way I deal with stress because in the home that I was raised in, especially the way I was raised, I wasn't really taught well how to like manage stress or deal with it in a healthy way. And it was very normal for me to see like my family members were just like people that I live with to be like under pressure, under stress, but still like get things through, like get things done and stuff, like even though they may get burnt out at the end and stuff like that. Like that was normal for me to like see and experience myself. So it's like I feel like if I had a different way of being shown how to like manage things or like a different way of coming up, I feel like I would be able to manage my stress better and in a healthier way that's not like causing me to feel like my world is exploding.
Coping isn't only individual, it's collective. Students lean on friends, study groups, and late night talks to share the weight of stress. Identity shapes these strategies too. Many of us didn't grow up where stress was handled healthily. So we're just trying to break the pattern and set new boundaries and make it out differently than generations before us. These efforts show coping as cultural and aspirational. When students reflect on these efforts, they see coping not just as survival, but as practice, temporary fixes, long-term habits, and cultural rituals that reveal what they've learned about themselves. Looking back, what have you learned about yourself through coping with stress?
I learned that me personally, I tend to take a lot of things on and I tend to try to work through a lot of things without giving myself a break. I really push myself to my very last limit, and then it causes me to have like mental breakdowns, and it causes me to have nervous breakdowns, and I just literally go into a spiral and I start to lose my mind, which is not good. I learned to take my time with things, to really sit back and reflect, and to just be able to know what I have to do, know what I can put off to do, and just like knowing how to manage everything on in a better way rather than just trying to go through everything and trying to complete everything all at once.
I've learned that when I get really stressed, I would usually just shut down and just not know what to do with myself.
From emic voices to etic frames, we've seen stress as embodied, structural, and cultural. At the core, students are just trying to survive and do as much as they can, breaking old patterns, setting new boundaries, and turning coping rituals into resilience. That concludes my TED Talk. Thank you for listening.